Good morning. Good morning. How's everyone doing this fabulous Monday morning? Well, I, of course, love to start my day off with something positive. And I like to write down 10 things that I am already thankful for, 10 things that God has already pulled me through. So as I'm going through my day, I'm like, baby, if nothing new happens, I'm already good because God's already blessed me with this. So if you were able to write down 10 things that God has already blessed you with, put in the comments, I got my 10, I got my 10. Put in the comments, I got my 10. I normally read from the devotion book, Jesus Calling. She's been through a lot. But this Sunday, I'm doing a free masterclass, 9 p.m. Eastern Time, going over business structure, asset protection, what contracts you need for your business, how to market your business, and then how to sell digital products. So if you are interested in going to my free masterclass and you're on my TikTok page, you want to DM me the word bank or click that link in my bio. If you're on my Instagram page, then you want to comment the word bank on this live or click link in my bio. So October 7th. In order to hear my voice, you must release all your worries into my care. Entrust to me everything that concerns you. This clears the way for you to seek my face unhindered. Let me free you from fear that is hiding deep inside you. Sit quietly in my presence, allowing my light to soak into you and drive out any darkness lodged within you. Accept each day just as it comes to you, remembering that I am sovereign over your life. Rejoice in this day that I have made, trusting that I am abundantly present in it. Instead of regretting or resenting the way things are, thank me in all circumstances. Trust me and don't be fearful. Thank me and rest in my sovereignty. Okay, so let's get into it. It first says, in order to hear my voice, you must release all your worries into my care. Trust to me everything that concerns you. So when we are going through something or when life is lifing, we always want to have the control. We always want to know what is the end result. We always want to, be able to gauge how this is going to end. And depending on how dark your storm is, sometimes you are not going to know what the end is. You're going to have to relinquish all that control and give it to God. And that is what the hardest part is. Just saying, God, whatever is the reason I'm going through this, whatever you want me to learn, like I'm just open to what it is versus trying to map out and, make your own final destination. Sometimes what God has for us and the way he takes us around that mulberry bush, we're like, baby, why are we over here? Like, God, I don't understand why I'm doing all this. But we have to be able to give all the worries to God. So once you say, okay, God, I'm giving it to you, that means you can't worry about it. That means you can't be on that telephone talking about, girl, I can't believe. That means you can't be laid up at night thinking about it. That means you can't stop eating, worried about it. That means once you say, God, take this over, you have to have the faith that God has it, and you have to have the understanding that what he sees fit as the end result, which may be different than what you think is going to be fit, is what needs to be. So you got to hear his voice. You have to release all your worries into his care, and it's entrust that God's got it, and entrust to me everything that concerns you. So whatever you're worried about, whatever is the issue, whatever you are struggling with, you have to give it to God. Number one, baby, you aren't going to be able to fix it. Okay? Like, you are not going to be able to fix it. Worrying about it, having anxiety about it, stressing about it is not going to change your situation. Give it to God and let it go. This clears you for you to seek my face unhindered. Let me free you from fear that is hiding deep inside you. Sit quietly in my presence, allowing my light to soak into you and drive out any darkness. Let me free you from the fear that is hiding deep in you. You don't have to figure it out. You don't have to come up with the plan. Whatever is the battle, whatever is the storm that you're facing, whatever is the issue, baby, it is not yours to fight, it is God's. And a lot of times we bring on additional stress, worry, anxiety, weight gain, losing weight, not being productive because we're so worried about our situation that, baby, we aren't going to fix. We have to give it to God. Once you give it to God, although the situation may not be fixed, he's going to give you peace. He's going to give you understanding. He's going to give you, you know what, I don't understand why I'm going through this, but he's going to be able to, how do I say it? You'll be going through the fire, but not getting burned. In my first year in my divorce, I'm on year 3. When my son's father took all the money out the account, locked me out of my businesses after he shot at me, I was just like, okay, God, like, I don't understand how I'm going to get out of this one. Once I said, God, I don't even know what I'm going through. I don't know why I'm going. Like, none of this makes sense. You're going to have to get me out of this one. And I gave it away. I was just looking for God, just get me through the day. Like, what am I supposed to do today to have a productive day? What am I supposed to do today to keep my sanity so I can still be a great mom? What am I supposed to do today that's going to make me a better mom, a better business person? Like, what am I supposed to do today? And although my life was everywhere, I'm in a new state, I'm in a new city, it was all new, I had a sense of peace. I had a sense of calmness. Like, my life is, a year ago, my life was everywhere, but I wasn't stressed. It was like, okay, God, like, okay, another whammy. Okay, we're doing this. Okay. But through it all, it was like, God was like, I got you. And I felt his presence on me. And then he would just show me small things. Like, my son was able to meet a lot of friends, and my business just took off, and I'm meeting all these different but I'm still going through the storm. I'm still going through it. You know what I'm saying? But he's going to show you slowly but surely, like, although you're going through it, I got you. You aren't going through this alone. And eventually, after you get thrown around, he's throwing you around because he's repositioning you, right? He's repositioning you. He is changing your direction. He is taking you out of that danger zone. It feels like you're losing, but after time, you're going to see, oh, I'm really winning. Oh, God's really setting me up for that alley-oop. It says, sit in my presence, allowing my light to soak into you and drive out the darkness that's lodged within you. So whenever you're feeling lack, whenever you're feeling lonely, whenever you feel like I just don't have X, Y, and Z, pray for God to be able to fill that void, right? So when I first moved to Florida, I had to just up, and after my son's father shot at me in front of our son, I had to just pack up everything and just move, right? So now I'm in a new city. I don't have any friends, don't know anyone, and I'm just like, okay, like, what do I do now? And immediately, when I first moved to my subdivision, it was a brand new subdivision. So we may have like 5 or 10 five houses on our block. We ended up having to go back to Houston for like 2 months, dealing with the civil court case and the divorce court cases. You know, we had hearings back to back to back. And when we came back, our entire block was built up, and there were 5 homes that had kids my son's age. So yes, my son left a 2-parent home with grandparents and, you know, a sister and, you know, all the toys in the world and, you know, everything he wanted. And now he just has me. But God gave him that family dynamic by giving him these friends, right? And all the friends, of course, have dads, and the dads kind of take him in as their other son. So God is going to cover you in the gap. God is going to, whatever it is that you are lacking, God's going to fill that void for you. But trusting in him to be like, hey, he's not going to fill it with the exact same thing that you lost. He's going to replace it with something different, but it will still get the same result, right? Then it said, accept each day just as it comes to you, remembering that I am sovereign over your life. Rejoice in this day that I have made, trusting that I am abundantly present in it. Accept each day as it comes to you. Remember that I am sovereign over your life. If you are going... Hey, we do have bags. Okay. If you have to accept whatever it is that you're going through, knowing that you're going through it for a reason. a lot of times, especially if your life is turned upside down, it's not making sense. Like, it's not making sense. None of this makes sense. When this is not fair, boom, boom, boom. You have to trust God. You have to trust God, that God knows what he's doing. And there is a purpose in the madness. And once you give it over to God fully and just kind of ride the wave, okay, God, like wherever it is that you're taking me, like, I'm open to it. Once you can get there, your transition period is going to be more peaceful. You're going to be able to enjoy I'm not going to say enjoy the storm or weather the storm, but be at peace. And I know one thing I did, I always remembered, how did God get me out of a tough situation before? And I stood on that. So if God got me through X, Y, and Z, I know he can get me through this. But we have to accept each day. So whatever we're going through, God has us going through this for a reason. So besides trusting him to know I'm going through this for a reason, the second thing is, what is the lesson I'm supposed to learn? What's the lesson I'm supposed to learn? So no matter what is being thrown at us, it's easy, to point that finger, and that person did this and this person did this and boom, 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 and they're horrible. But we need to go ahead and put that mirror up, and what am I supposed to learn from this lesson? What am I supposed to learn from this experience? What am I supposed to learn from this betrayal? What is the lesson? Because once you learn the lesson, that's going to prepare you for this to happen again in the future, but now you can see it. For example, I thought the wife was supposed to be, subservient and submissive, and I let my husband lead with the finances. Right. I will put some parameters in place, right? Like, for those who have a couple, who are a couple, or you're about to get married, you need to have there should be a limit on the bank account as to one party cannot withdraw over X amount without both signatures. Okay, so me just, my husband's my husband, I'm gonna let him lead me in the finance, baby, that won't happen again. So, not being, so if I had gone to the bank and chose to have parameters on only X amount can be withdrawn without both people's signatures, I wouldn't be in this predicament today, right? Learning lesson. So when you're going through something, yes, the other person may have harmed you. Yes, the other person may have done you wrong. But what is the lesson to learn? So number one, it won't happen again. What is the character trait that you're going to, that you are going to build in yourself? What going through this is going to make you stronger? How? Because as you are growing, as you're going in life, as you are, accomplishing more dreams and goals, the bigger the blessing, there's always a burden that comes with the blessing. And if you aren't strong enough to handle the blessing then becomes a burden, right? So whatever it is that you're going through, learn the lesson. What am I supposed to learn from this? If you just got fired from your job today, oh my gosh, that company is so horrible. Is it so horrible, or have you been coming into work late? Are they just these bad people and don't care about you, or have you really been, calling out a lot? Like, what is it are you supposed to learn? Or have you been at this job long enough and God's been telling you it's time for you to, to take that side business and make it your full-time business, but you've just been too scared. And God said, I'm trying to tell you that this is going to be your entrepreneur season. You keep playing. So now I'm going to push you into your destiny. There's always something to learn from what you're going through. So put that mirror up and be like, what am I supposed to learn? Bam. Instead of regretting or resenting the way things are, thank me in all circumstances. Come on. Instead of regretting or resenting the way things are, thank me in all circumstances. This gonna be tough, right? This is going to be tough because sometimes your circumstance is going to be crazy. Sometimes you're going to be mad. Sometimes you're going to be filled with anger and resentment. Sometimes life deals you a deck of cards and they're not fair. Sometimes life puts you in the game and the game was rigged against you. And so you have a short end of the stick. But instead of regretting or resenting the way things are, thank him in all circumstances. When you are able to give your desires to God and trust and wait on the answer, it may take some time. But God is going to show you that he's there in all circumstances. I'm going to give you a business example. So I used to have a hair salon franchise, Super Eve Express, Houston's home of 50-hour sewing, and we had 10 locations between Texas and Louisiana. We sold hair extensions and we did hair. We were our biggest season was that February, March, April, May. That was like our harvest season. And what I would do is we would increase buying our inventory starting in September. So September, October, November, December, we would kind of buy more hair to stock up to have hair on deck in our busy season. I'm being a good steward of my finances. We're doing maybe $100,000 a month in buying hair extensions so that when the harvest season comes, we're going to be good to go. Let me tell you what I did. Business mistake number one. When you have a good product, leave it alone. When you have a good product and a good vendor or a good supplier, leave it alone. Leave it alone. When you have that blue magic, leave it alone. I was so worried about the other hair companies were charging less for their hair, and I couldn't charge less because what I pay for my hair and the quality of it and what it could do, I couldn't afford to pay less. So I went and I switched my vendor. Play back to me. I switched my vendor. And the sample hair that the vendor gave me wasn't the same hair I got when I got my order. So I ordered a sample. Let me text Hannah. Hold on. What I did was, thank you for closing the door. What I did was, I ordered some sample hair. It was great, but once I did that big order, they changed the quality. I didn't know. People started to buy the new hair. When they bought the new hair and we washed it, it dreaded up. Like dreaded to where you couldn't even comb it. Can you come close my door, please? Thanks. So here I am. My vendor is closed for a holiday. I have switched. I have spent all this money buying this hair. I'm sorry, TikTok. I switched my hair. I'm thinking about to make all this money, and let me push. I missed a step in the story. Hold on. Switched my vendor. It is now February. Okay. It is the day that income tax checks hit. Okay. So when the income tax checks hit, we already know it's about to be ignorant, right? The morning of the day that the income tax checks hit, like that first time when they get that big, check run, our 5 salons were broken in on the same day. Get a call like at 4 or 5 in the morning, ADP, log onto the cameras. I see them in the salon, get down there. The police are there. They're already gone. As I'm talking to the police at one salon, get another call from ADP. I'm showing the police, hey, they're at my other salon. Can you go ahead and send someone? They're like, well, no, you're in Houston County. That's Harris County. And like, baby, you see the people in my They don't care. They don't care. So in that one morning, they hit up all of our salons, stole all the hair. All we had were the bundles that were left outside that as they were running out with everything, they dropped. Okay. So we may have had a couple of bundles to sell, not many. I'm going somewhere. Stay with me. So I am so upset about, oh my gosh, like, God, this is not fair. I spent all this money. I invested. I was faithful with what I had. I'm investing in my business. Why would you have someone take all of my inventory? Why? I had made my office at my largest salon like a trap room, right? It was like had screen doors on it, and they actually had at my biggest salon that had most of the hair. They came in from the building that was the office that was next door, or the place that was next door to us was vacant. So they came through the wall, and although we had this big gated wall, they drilled through the sheetrock, and they came through the sheetrock to get in, right? Okay. So I am upset. I'm mad. They done stole all the hair. All I thought I was going to make is not going to make. God's not fair. God, why are you doing this to me? Boom, boom, boom. 2 weeks, we were only able to sell whatever little hair we had on the ground. 2 weeks later, when the people who got the hair that's on the ground came in for that shampoo style, baby, and that water hit that hair dreaded up. Like, dreaded up to where you couldn't even comb through it. Dreaded up. And I'm like, I've never seen this before. What in the world? So I can't have you come to my salon and say, this is Super Express hair. So I had to tell the people, hey, I don't know. I had to be honest. Hey, I switched vendors. I didn't know was going to do this. My vendor is closed for a holiday. We're going to have to cut this hair out, go to the beauty supply, buy some more hair. I'll pay for it. And then when my new hair comes in, I will give you 3 bundles, for free, because I can't have people walking around looking like death and destruction and they're saying it's my hair. That was just one client. For like that whole week, people kept coming in who had bought the new hair, and I'm having to give, and my partner, like, we can't do all this. We're going to go out, baby. I will lose my brand if I don't make this right. And at that moment, I said, that's why God had them come steal all of our inventory. That's why God had them steal everything, because had I sold all that hair during tax season with all them people, it would have been too many complaints. It would have been too many people going, like, let's just say that you didn't get your hair sewn in at my salon. Let's say that you bought the hair and went somewhere else and got it sewn in. And then when you went to go get a shampoo and style, it dried up. That my whole brand would have been ruined. So that's why God stole all my inventory. At that time, I thought I was being taken advantage of. At that time, I thought it wasn't fair. At that time, I thought God had, like, that's not being fair, God. I spent all this money. I was investing. I'm doing what you tell me to do, invest in my business, and my opportunity is gone. God saved me. See, sometimes we're in a situation, sometimes we're in a storm that we created. Like my marriage, baby, I didn't ask God, was this my husband? I was 34, 35. I said, you know what? I'm a professional. I've accomplished all my professional goals. It's time for me to get married. And the first little boy that came around me, and I was, okay, I can work with him. Cool. I done married him. I didn't ask God, was I supposed to be married to this sociopath? I just got married because I felt like it was time for me to get married. A lot of times we're in our storm, we're in a situation, and it's all messed up, but it's all messed up because we put ourselves there, and God is messing it up to get us out. God said, I'm about to save you from yourself, right? So once I understood, okay, God, that's why you had them take the inventory so I wouldn't lose my brand. Got it. Thank you. So you're in your storm, keep your eyes open for why am I in it? What's the lesson to learn? So business lesson, never change your vendor. If you are selling a product and it's good, it's Blue Magic, leave it alone. I don't care how much cheaper someone else says it can be. I don't care. Leave it alone. Once you have that Blue Magic, leave it alone. Bam. So that was for instead of regretting that was for instead of regretting or resenting the way things are, thank me in all circumstances. And last it says, trust me and don't be fearful. Thank me and rest in my sovereignty. Trust me and don't be fearful. You got to know that when you are talking to God about your situation, ask him to help you be okay with what he wants for you. That's that trust. In our mind, it may be, I'm going to have a kid by 30. In our mind, it may be, I'm going to be a homeowner by 30. But he may be saying, well, you're going to be a homeowner. It's just not going to be at 30. It may be at 35. It may be at 36 because the home I want you to own is going to be bigger than the one that you can own at 30. Or the business is going to be a 7-figure business, just not this year. Yes, everyone on Instagram is rich, right? Everyone on Instagram is balling. Like no one on Instagram has problems. You're the only person in the world that's having a problem. That's what you think. And God's like, baby, I'm going to make you a 7-figure business owner, just not this year. I need you to kind of learn a couple of things. I may need you to ditch a business partner. I may need you to get in a new industry, but you're going to get it. It's just not right now. So when you trust him, you understand that whatever is the timing of what I'm wanting, whatever I'm wanting is going to happen. It's just going to be on God's timing. Whatever I'm wanting is going to happen when it's in line with God's will. If you're wanting second best, if you're wanting leftovers, if you're wanting the bare minimum, God is a God of abundance. He's like, oh, baby, no, he wasn't the one because he was the bare minimum. She wasn't the one because, she was just giving you breadcrumbs. I do have your person for you. That's just not the one. I do have your dream job for you. This is just not the one. This job right here is to kind of teach you how to work with co-workers, try to teach you office politics. I'm going to promote you to CEO. I'm going to promote you to management, just not at this job, right? So you got to understand that when you're asking God for these things, you have to trust him. The Bible says God is going to give you the desires of your heart. So if you believe that God's going to give you the desires of your heart, you then have to trust that he will, but he's not always going to do it on your timing. He's not going to do it how you want it. He's going to do it what he sees fit. But remember, whatever he sees fit is going to be bigger and better than what anything you could have imagined. Okay? Because God is a God of abundance. So that was October 7th in Jesus Calling. She's been through a lot because we've been through a lot. If you are wanting to come to my free masterclass this Sunday, 9 p.m. Eastern Time, going over asset protection, business structure, how to market your business, how to sell on social media, how to make digital products, and how to get funding for your business that is debt-free, then you want to comment bank in my comments if you're on my Instagram page or click link in my bio. If you're on my TikTok page, you want to DM me the word bank or click that link in my bio. Everyone have a fabulous Monday, and I will, of course, see you at the bank.